Hi everyone, welcome to ONYX page. So, Tommy's right here.
Hello.
Ever present, love of my life. We're just, just talking, getting to know each other a little bit. There was not enough transition time between our conversation and me hitting record. So, while you get comfortable and we collect ourselves, I am going to show you some books that I recently got. There's one writer in particular that I want to talk a little bit about, and you'll hear about her in about 2 seconds. So thanks very much for watching. Welcome back. Thanks for staying. Before I get into this, that's where the camera, I'm recording on my phone, and I'm recording in this little nook area between our couch and the bookshelf, and it's kind of cozy. I just got back from a poetry reading, which I haven't gone to I haven't gone to poetry readings in so many years, and it's really nice to do that in Toronto. And I didn't want to set up all my lights and all of that stuff because it's an evening, it's a school night, and I don't want to do all that because I want to just cozy up and go to bed so I can do it all over again tomorrow. So it's kind of nice to be able to take your phone and put it on a little easel and turn on ambient light and just record, right, Tommy?
Absolutely. That's what I'm doing right now, recording.
So, a couple of things. First of all, I want to just say thank you to those of you who have recently joined the channel. And in particular, I want to talk about one booktuber. You're going to hear some printer stuff in the background. I actually forget the name of their channel, but I will put it up probably here, maybe there, but probably right there. So as you know, when you're a content creator or anyone, you can check, you can search YouTube for mentions of your channel, or mentions of your name, and then you can see when you've been mentioned or where you've been mentioned. And if you are a content creator and you don't do that, that's a source of community building. So I do that from time to time. And I saw that I was mentioned by this content creator who I hadn't heard of before. And I thought, let me just watch their video and see why they mentioned ONYX pages. And this content creator is ONYX, and they were talking about their reading. I believe it was like a February reading wrap-up video. And something really struck me about the way they talked about one particular book, which is Ring Shout by P. Jelly Clark. As you may know, Fenderson is a writer who has mastered short form writing. I have read a couple of his novellas and have heard him speak, and I think he's just masterful. I think everything that he's written that I've read, I've absolutely adored. Anyway, and I think I would say Ring Shout is probably my favorite, but this content creator had read Ring Shout, and they weren't they were okay, like they liked it ish, but it didn't really wow them. And what they did with that was so impressive to me. And I just want to talk about that, and then I'll segue into independently published books. So what they did was, and they explained this on their video, which I will put up in the cards and tag and all that stuff. So what they did was they thought to themselves, like, look, I'm not Black. A lot of people, this book, I'm not getting some of the references. It's not quite hitting the way that I thought it should, or expected, or hoped that it could. And where other booktubers and bookish content creators might just say, I'm just going to DNF it because I hate this book, or it's not worth my time, or whatever. This particular content creator did some research, and they went and they found Black creators, including myself, which is why I was mentioned in their video. They went out and they listened to us. They sought out Black content creators who read and loved Ring Shout to find out why they did, to have their voices influence or help to add some kind of value to their own experience of the book. And that changed their perspective a little bit. And while I was watching this booktuber talk about that, I thought that's an element, I think, of integrity and accountability in reading outside of your lived experience. I think too often readers will read books, not understand and not seek to understand what the writer was attempting to accomplish, and simply downrate books or discard books when perhaps there was another way to react to them or to respond to them. And I was so impressed by this content creator. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you. Anyway, I'm here to talk to you about a similar sort of topic, which is independently published books. When I first started this channel, I really made an effort to find books that were published traditionally, and also to find books that were independently published. Some of the first authors I learned about who published independently were Zetta Elliott, who has a number of books that she self-published, children's books, middle grade books that were Afrofuturist. She had some YA romance. And I read her books very early on in my booktube career and enjoyed them. And really enjoyed talking to her about her own books. I think I might actually have an interview with Zetta Elliott on this channel, and if so, I will put it up there. And I kept on trying to find titles that were independently published, and I will admit that I felt a little uncomfortable because I think I had a bias towards, and probably still do have a bias towards, traditionally published books, like, maybe they're better quality, or maybe the stories are better, or whatever. And I try to check myself on that because it's not true. And I think it's particularly not true, or not always true, because I've read some really bad independently published books, but I've read some really bad traditionally published books, right? But as the years have gone on, and I've thought about what it means to take up the pen and then put out your own work and create an infrastructure where you can maybe support others to do the same, and how important that is now in these times, I think I've developed a greater respect for independently published works and writers who put out their books independently. A couple of titles, I guess, that I'll talk to you about. One is Magnifique Noir. I think it's independently published, but it's like it is I guess it's a YA kind of superhero origin. At least the first book is an origin story, like queer characters, Black characters, very, very cute and sweet. That is a book that I really enjoy, and I need to read the second one of it. There's another one, How to be an adult. I'll put it up over here as well. It's actually right, it's like right behind me. It's right there. Maybe I could stretch and get it. Yeah, hold on. It's like right here. How to Be a Better Adult. So this is a book that was independently published by Jackie Aya. You have to find her on Instagram. Her hair is gorgeous. It's so lush and thick. And look, so in addition to getting the book, you get a journal, all right? I think I read this either last year or the year before, and it's just like a really nice book. You know, I read it, I liked it, it was cute and all that. And then she has a journal that you can fill in as you're reading, and like prompts in her story, you know, like just there are ways to be creative that traditional publishers might not allow. Anyway, I think it's particularly important in these times to own your voice and to set yourself up to create art or to produce cultural artifacts, to produce ways of sharing ideas that will not have to be compromised because you're trying to satisfy a large corporation that probably doesn't actually care about your liberation or your healing. And when we talk about fantasy, speculative fiction, even especially mundane speculative fiction, we are in a historical moment right now where ideas, and especially ideas that come from us dreaming and imagining alternatives to what we are being offered, is so important. It is so important right now. It is important for us to think about models of decision making that are different from what we've seen. It is important for us to imagine different models of leadership, different models of interdependence amongst what we call nation states, and cooperation and collaboration, different ways to love, different ways to raise children, different ways to educate, different ways to support the elderly, different ways to imagine ability, right? Like, this is a really important time for all of us to critically engage with what we are being offered and consider alternatives. And fantasy, science fiction, speculative art of all kinds, it is such a significant contributor to that, feeds our imagination. And so when you have writers who are willing to do the harder thing and publish their own writing and be responsible for the art and the editing and all the stuff that writers do that I don't fully understand, and put it out in the world, hoping to compete with more traditionally published writers who have a machinery behind them, whether it's a large one or a small one, you got to tip your hat to them, right? I don't remember when I first came across Leslie Penelope, but I do have an interview with her from years back when I produced the Written with Purpose series, which was an opportunity for me to connect with, I think it was about 10 writers of Black speculative works, and to talk to them about the books I'd read of theirs, and also about, you know, what plans they had, what at the time, why they write, what they're trying to accomplish through their writing, and what it means for them to write on purpose for people like us who read with purpose. So if you'd like to check out if you want to dig through my crates and find that playlist, please do. I'm sure you're going to find a lot of writers who you've read, and you might enjoy hearing them talk about their writing journey. I love talking to writers about their writing journey. So that's where I met, or at least that was the first conversation I had with Leslie Penelope. And I'm going to open this box because I think I got 2 books of hers and I'm super excited. There might be other things in this box. Who knows? Okay, so the first thing is this, which is great. Do you like playing with this stuff?
Okay.
It's fun. Okay. So that was your ASMR. Okay. So this is the first one. And this is The Obsidian Curse by L. Penelope. Okay, so fire and water were never meant to meet until fate intervened. Nyara dreams of becoming a water mage priestess. Nyara's dreams of becoming a water mage priestess have been crushed by her magic's stubborn refusal to cooperate. But when a monstrous creature of lava and flame emerges during a sacred ritual, she discovers she can hear the creature's thoughts. What's more, the fearsome beast is not a beast at all, but the cursed Prince Kieran of the Ember Fae. After uncovering a treacherous plot that threatens both Kieran and the future of the water mages, Nyara faces an impossible choice: remain loyal to the mages who raised her, or assist the son of her people's enemy, a man whose touch awakens something wild and forbidden within her blood. Nyara and Kieran must race against time to save both their peoples and break his curse. That is, if the army hunting them, her own conflicted loyalties, and the explosive chemistry between these mortal enemies don't destroy them first. So, fate is a cruel matchmaker, binding enemies, forging impossible alliances, and turning betrayal into desire. When kingdoms fall, curses rise, and war looms, love is the most dangerous game of all. So, I don't read a lot of like fantasy, romance, enemies to lovers, or whatnot. But the first book that I read of Leslie Penelope's had romance, and it was really satisfying. So I'm looking forward to this. The pages are purple, so Brittany, you want this. And also, right, like lined with purple. And it is short. Ooh, she wrote some things. You are magic. Yes, I am. And it's signed, which is cool. And it's the Lunaterra Chronicles. Okay, so that's the first one, The Obsidian Curse. And I love hardbacks that have that velvety cover. And then I got 2 bookmarks, The Song of Blood and Stone. I read this, and this is the complete series, her fantasy series. The first one is The Song of Blood and Stone, which is that one. And then we have Breath of Dust and Dawn, Whispers of Shadow and Flame, Hush of Storm and Sorrow, Cry of Metal and Bone, Echoes of Ash and Tears, and Requiem of Silence. I own all of these books, but I have not read them yet. And it's only because I have a hard time reading series in bits. I have to read from the first book to the last book. And as you can see, there are many books. And I think there's also 3 novellas in addition. So there are 7 books in this series, and I believe there are also 3 novellas. And so just getting the time, because I'm a slower reader, to read all of that, I haven't been able to do that. But I got some bookmarks. Okay, then there's, I feel like I bought 2 books, but there are 3 in here, which is very exciting. Okay, the next is The Inevitable Undoing of Zahara Douglas. Okay, I love the colors on the cover here. It's very like fuchsia, nice fuchsia situation happening. Okay, so this is an ARC. So I got an ARC from Leslie Penelope. Thank you very much for the advanced reading copy, Leslie. I appreciate you. So for 5 years, Zara Douglas has been haunted by her sister's impossible disappearance. Now, in December 1999, with the world on the brink of chaos, Zahara sets out to find her sister no matter the cost, in this twisty and compelling modern fantasy from Leslie Penelope. So, I just wanted to make sure that this was self-published. I'll confirm. I think it is. In April 1994, Zahara watched her twin sister, Annika, get hustled into a stranger's car and disappear, only to return to a world where no one remembers Annika ever existed. Not her mother, not the police, no one. Now, as the world braces for the looming Y2K crisis, I was born in a decade, so were you, Tomi. So we remember the Y2. Tomi's like, why is my name in your mouth? But remember the Y2K crisis when everybody was afraid that like at the stroke of midnight, the year 2000, like everything was going to like shut off?
Yes, and I remember we were prepared for it.
Yeah.
We had like, everything was analog
Yes.
at that time.
Yes.
Well, in terms of availability for the inevitable crash of the computers.
Yes.
Right?
We was like, get your money out. We don't know bank machines.
Cash.
Everything's gonna blink 0000000. Like it was wild.
Candles.
Everything.
Flashlights.
Charger.
Canned food. It was
buzzing
like
devices. Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Get the car topped up with gas, whatever the case may be. And now we are where we are.
And now we are where we are. So now as the world braces for the looming Y2K crisis, Zahara finds evidence that proves her sister was real. Determined to uncover the truth, she hires a private investigator and begins digging into her family's shadowed past. When the investigation leads to two charismatic men who once served with her father in Vietnam, Zahara realizes she and her sister may be pawns in a dangerous power struggle with unthinkable consequences. To find her sister, Zahara must face the truth about her family, her memories, and the power lurking within her. But the sisters' reunion comes at a price, one that could unravel reality and bring about the end of the world. Well, okay, Leslie Penelope. I wonder, why does she have this memory of her sister? Why does no one else remember her sister? What is she? Like, who knows, right? So this is a really cool story. And two Black girls, you know, potentially being responsible for the undoing of the entire world. That's pretty cool. So that is the second one. And I don't think this is Hatchet. This is not self-published. This is Hatchet Group. Yeah. Okay. And so that's cool. And that's coming out August 2026. There's 2 more books in here. Oh my God. Okay. I'm going to save one of my favorite sort of like themes for last. So this one is, I wanted to make sure that I bought this directly from Leslie. So this is The Monsters We Defy. And I'm going to read this to you, but I wanted to tell you why I was interested in this book. Number 1, the time period that it is set in. Number 2, I believe that this involves a heist. And I do not read a lot of heist stories. But I love a heist. Like, I love, like, Ocean's 11 and what's the one with the magic people? Now You See, not the one with the group of magicians.
I know which one you're talking about.
But we don't even know. We don't remember movie names. It was great. We watched it. Okay. So Clara Johnson can talk to spirits, a gift that saved her during her darkest moments, now a curse that's left her indebted to the cunning spirit world. So when a powerful spirit offers her an opportunity to gain her freedom, Clara seizes the chance, no questions asked. The task? Steal a magical ring from the wealthiest woman in the district. Clara can't accomplish this daring heist alone. To pull off the impossible, she'll need help from an unlikely team, from a handsome jazz musician able to hypnotize with a melody to an aging actor who can change his face. But as they race along DC's legendary Black Broadway, conflict in the spirit world begins to leak into the human one, an insidious mystery is unfolding, one that could cost Clara her life and change the fate of an entire city. So that's Monsters We Defy. Love the collage-y cover here. We've got some cityscape. We've got some kind of tattoo magical thing happening. We've got a beautiful black woman with a really cool hat. Is this kind of hat called a cloche? Do we know? Anyway, very cool hat with a flower and Monsters We Defy. Very cool. And also this was published by Hachette Group. I guess the books that I got weren't the self-published ones. Okay. And she also signed this. Seize Your Destiny, and Jerry. I'm doing my best, Leslie. Okay. And also bookmark, typist, clairvoyant, thief, question mark. Meet Clara Johnson. I definitely want to. She seems fascinating. Okay. And then the last book. So I think of the three, this one is the one that is independently published. Yeah, it's published by Heartspell, which is her publishing house. And then the other two are traditionally published. And then we have the last one. Ooh. Daughters of the Merciful Deep. Okay, so first of all, if you know me, well, if you know my bookish tastes, you will know that I enjoy mermaids, siren stories about sirens. So if you have a black woman underwater, I want to read about her. Okay, so that's just basics. Okay, so in this one, and this was also published by Hachette, Jane Edwards hasn't spoken since she was 11 years old, when armed riders expelled her family and every other black resident from their hometown. Now, 12 years later, she's found a haven in the all-black town of Awanasa. But the construction of a dam threatens to wash her home under the waters of the new lake. Jane will do anything to save the community that sheltered her. So when a man with uncanny abilities arrives in town asking strange questions, always a flag, she wonders if he might be the key. But as the stranger hints at gods and ancestral magic, Jane realizes she knows this man. Only the last time she saw him, he was dead. That's inconvenient. Who is the stranger and what is he really doing in Awanasa? Answering these questions will take Jane to a sunken world of capricious gods and unsung myths, of salvation and dreams made real. But the floodwaters are rising. In order to save her community, Jane will have to find her voice again and finally face the trauma of the past. Daughters of the Merciful Deep is a compelling historical fantasy that shines light on the drowned black towns of the American South as Jane discovers the power of her ancestors, her family, and her home. Leslie Penelope, Daughters of the Merciful Deep. So we've got this one independently published title. We have 3 traditionally published titles. And I am very much looking forward to enjoying her writing. So thank you, Leslie, for giving me the arc of the inevitable undoing of Zara Douglas. And yeah, so if anybody who's watching this, if you've read any of Leslie Penelope's work, I'd love to hear what you've read. I'd love to hear what you thought of it. And I'd like to, did you read the self-published stuff, the traditionally published stuff? And I also want to just have a conversation with all of you in the comments. What are your views, or maybe your impulses when it comes to self-published work or independently published work? Do you search for it? Do you gravitate toward it? Do you prefer it? Do you have misgivings about it? How do you deal with those biases? Do you think that there's something special about independently published works? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, for those of you who want to learn more about Leslie Penelope, which I definitely suggest that you do, because she's just lovely, like a lovely human, and also so prolific in her writing. She's got a wonderful website, and you can find all of her books there. She also is on YouTube, and she does a podcast. She talks about her writing journey, and she gives writers a lot of tips, and she's been doing this for a really, really long time. So you can also look her up on her channel, and you can sign up for her newsletter and learn more about her and read her work. So I hope that this video has introduced you to a new author for you. And of course, I'm really looking forward to having conversation with you about the importance of self-published work. I feel like sitting in this corner, Tomi, it's so cozy. This video is almost 29 minutes. It's almost half an hour. And this is what happens when I'm like, you're just with me in our living room, you know, or just amongst the plants, you know, just flowing. But I gotta go by. Read with purpose. See ya. Okay, so I lied to you. There was more in the box. So in addition to the bookmarks that I got this one for Whispers of Shadow and Flame, another one for Song of Blood and Stone, and then another one for, oh, I had this, but here's a very cute one. This is a postcard from Awanasa, Never Backwards, Ever Forward. This is cute. Look at that. And then it's got a little QR code. So if you want, you can focus on that QR code. Oh, let's get that focus for you. Yeah, tell me if that works. So you can use the QR code, pause the video, connect this QR code and learn more about the book. And then another bookmark for a trilogy, it looks like. Savage City, Beastly Kingdom, and Brutal Fortress. I like that art. Very, very powerful, cool people there. And a sticker. Requiem of Silence. Very cool. And then I got a letter. Oh. Thanks, Leslie. I'm gonna maybe read it. Well, I'm not gonna read it I'm gonna read it, but I'm not gonna read it to you. I'm just gonna read it right now. I love a letter, and I love letters that are pretty. Her handwriting is gorgeous. That's so nice. Thank you, Leslie. Okay. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to break out my stationery. You're welcome. Wow. She said, many years ago, I started writing books by hand. That's incredible. Yeah. She loves letter writing like I do. Aw, that's such a beautiful, beautiful handwritten note with stamps. And did she? Looks like she may have. Oh, I think this is her own art. So she's an artist too. Look at that. It's beautiful. I'm so glad I shared that with you. Thank you very much, Leslie. Okay, everybody. Remember to read with purpose. And if you've gotten all the way to the end of the video, thank you very much. And please do, what should they put?
At the end?
Yeah. A fairy?
Yeah.
A fairy.
Yeah.
Find a fairy. Find a beautiful fairy or an elf-like creature and put them in the comments. And I'll see you soon. Remember to read with purpose. And now I'm really, really gonna go. Okay. See ya.